Mineral nutrition. What is this mineral nutrition actually? So all the organisms, whatever they may be, bacteria or plants or animals, whatever they are, all the organisms require some elements or the compounds. Some elements or compounds for their growth. Okay. So those elements or compounds we call them as nutrients. Okay, so all the elements which they require for their growth of any organism, we call them as a nutrients. Okay, so absorption. So absorption and utilization of nutrients by the organisms, we call it as a nutrition. We call it as a nutrition. And here nutrients they are divided. They are divided into organic nutrients and inorganic nutrients. We know that organic nutrients are carbon containing molecules, right? So carbon containing molecules means carbohydrates, all the biomolecules, carbohydrates, fats, proteins. Whereas the inorganic molecules, so these we call them as the inorganic nutrients, we call them as the minerals. Minerals, water comes under the inorganic, which does not contain any carbon element, carbon compound. They are not the carbon compounds, they are the normal minerals. So from the soil they are absorbed along with the water. We already discussed that. Okay, so mineral absorption and utilization, we call it as a mineral nutrition. Mineral nutrition. There are two main modes of nutrition are present. Two main modes of nutrition are present. One is the autotrophic nutrition and other one is the heterotrophic nutrition. Okay, so what is this autotrophic nutrition? Here in this type of mode of nutrition, organisms they will synthesize, organisms they can synthesize their own food materials by using carbon dioxide from the atmosphere as a source of carbon, and remaining energy also they will absorb, right? Energy, if they absorb from the sunlight, we call them as a photoautotrophs. Okay, photoautotrophs we call it. They utilize sunlight energy, solar energy, then we call it as a photoautotrophs. If the energy they obtain from an inorganic molecules or the chemicals, we call them as a chemoautotrophs. Okay, so photoautotrophs and chemoautotrophs are based upon the energy they utilize. All the autotrophs they will synthesize the food materials, but energy they will utilize, if they use from a solar energy, we call it as a photoautotrophs. If they use from inorganic substances, we call it as a chemoautotrophs. Okay, next heterotrophic organisms or heterotrophic nutrition. So here the organisms in this type of nutrition, the organisms they can't synthesize. They cannot synthesize their food materials. Okay, and they depend upon the other organisms from the external organic source. They will use the food. They will depend upon the other organisms. Okay, so energy again based upon the energy. These are again of two types. Again heterotrophs. Okay, photoheterotrophs and chemoheterotrophs. Photoheterotrophs and chemoheterotrophs. Photoautotrophs, we know that by energy, only energy they are obtaining from the sunlight. Remaining thing, food, everything, they are depending upon the other organisms. And chemoautotrophs for everything, to synthesize the food and for energy, everything they are depending upon the other organisms, all the parasites, insectivorous plants comes under the chemoheterotrophs. So saprophytes, everything will come. Okay, so symbionts also comes under the chemoheterotrophs. Okay, so mineral elements, actually there are 60 mineral elements. Okay, so among these 60, only 17 are the essential elements. That means which are required by the plant, only there are 17, which are very important in plants metabolism. Okay, and its growth and development. Okay, so what are the reasons how we consider that this particular element is an essential element? Based upon the following characters. Okay, that element must be necessary for normal growth and reproduction. For normal growth and reproduction, it should be present. So this is one of the important character. And next one is element, that means essential element. It must not be replaceable with the other element. That means it should not be replaced with other elements. It should have a unique character. It should have an important role. Okay, so that thing, so we can't replace it with the other elements. So those elements we call them as essential elements. Next one is element must play direct role in the metabolism. The elements, they should play direct role in the metabolism. So if these elements decreases, what happens? It leads to the deficiency in the plants, right? So those roles which play these things are considered as essential elements. So these essential elements are based upon the concentration. Plant require a specific concentration of nutrients. So based upon those concentrations, these essential 17 essential elements are there. Actually these are divided, comes under two main categories. Okay, based upon the concentration they require. So let us see the types of mineral nutrients. Based upon the concentration, how much plant requires for its growth and development for their life cycle. Okay, so these are divided into two main groups. So one is a macronutrient and another one is the micronutrients. So macronutrients, actually these are present in more concentrations. Okay, they require in a larger concentration, that is from 1 to 10 mg. Okay, per gram of the dry weight. So these are easily detectable. Easily detectable ones. If this decreases, these elements, if they decreases, we can easily identify them. Based upon their deficiency symptoms, we can easily identify them. So those we consider them as a macronutrients. Here they require in the larger concentration in the plant. Okay, so what are those among the 17 essential elements? They are carbon, okay, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, phosphorus, sulfur, calcium, potassium and magnesium. Okay, these are the macronutrient plant require in larger concentration. So then these are those among the 17. And coming to the micronutrients, actually these elements occur in the plant body or plant requires in a less concentration, that is a 0.1 mg per gram. Okay, very less amount, that is in a traces. Traces means in the less quantity. Yes, so they require only lesser amounts and we can't detect their deficiency symptoms easily. Okay, they require in the trace amount, so we are calling them as a trace elements. Okay, so what are those trace elements? They are molybdenum, manganese, zinc, boron, copper, chlorine, iron and nickel. Okay, molybdenum, manganese, zinc, boron, copper, chlorine, iron and the nickel. So all these comes under the micronutrient.